Hi, this is Rachelle with Scrapcraftastic, and I'm going to share how to alter this composition notebook. I'm going to alter it and turn it into a December daily as well as a holiday planner. So kind of an all-in-one thing with the composition notebook. This is one of the ones I picked up from Office Depot during back to school last year. They were, I think, 10 cents, if I remember correctly. So I got quite a few of them. In the previous video, I cut down the composition notebook to 6x9. I'll link to that video in the iCard up above so you can check that out. This one, I'm going to use it full size. So if you don't have the means to cut yours or you don't want to cut it, I'm going to show you how to cover it and use it full size. So that's what we're doing today. Also, to cover it, at least for the outside covers, I've been collecting gift bags for a while, so I have quite a collection. And someone mentioned on one of the previous videos of me working in the composition notebook that they used a gift bag to cover theirs. So since I have quite a collection of gift bags, I thought that's what we would use today. So this gift bag, I'm pretty sure came from the Dollar Tree. I also really wanted to use these pieces. The bags that I took these off of were 3D bags, I think. So they still have the foam tape on them. This one is stuck to this one. But I wanted to use this, but it is too large. So I can't use either one of them. But what I was thinking is I could cut pieces off. So like these two are nice pieces that I could use, and maybe I could just cut off the Santa and use it would fit. So I may be incorporating those pieces in some way. I don't think I'm going to be able to incorporate this even if I trim it down. Maybe I could. I have a couple of these bags. I think these bags were gorgeous. I picked them up after season from Dollar Tree, so I just got them for a few cents, I'm sure, maybe like 50 cents, something like that. But I thought I could use this somehow too. But the main cover is going to come from this huge gift bag. So let's see what we can do. I'm going to set the composition notebook aside and start taking this apart. You can even see the adhesive there where this is glued together somewhat. So let's take it apart carefully, because we may even be able to use these pieces for something else. So it also opens on one of the sides where it folds, and I found the seam and I'm just going to open it. If you've ever broken down a cereal box, it's kind of the same scenario. So you just take everything apart. So now we have this huge long piece. I think I'm going to use this side to work with. Now what you could do is cut yourself a template. You could use a piece of laminate to cut a template just to see what piece you want to keep. I know I'm not going to be able to get everything in the picture. It is going to be cropped a bit, and I have to keep in mind I'm not going to go over the spine area. So let's do this, like right about there. It's kind of guesstimating it. So let's just take a pencil and lightly go around this. It's gonna cut his head off if I do it there. Am I okay with that? If I go up any higher though, I'm going to be in the hole area. Let's see. Let me try that again. I guess that bottom line doesn't matter. I'm going to go up a little higher and try not to cut off his hat. Nope, I'm not going to be able to save the hat because of the holes. So let's see. If I hold this up like this, it still looks okay. All right, so I'm going to go with the lines that I drew. So let me trim this down. On this piece, I'm just going to go ahead and use the scissors to get me a workable area. Let's start on this end. I'm trying to salvage as much of this as I can. So like the Christmas cheer down at the bottom, I kind of want to not chop that up. I can use that somewhere else, I think. There we go. So we got our piece to work with. I'm gonna go ahead and take this out. You may be able to use that for something else. And then I can trim up here. All right. So now we got at least the front. Now I just need to line it up the way that I want it, and then I'm going to have to trim off any excess. So this is the side that is the issue. So I'm going to trim this side, square it up as best as I can. So let's trim this where I drew the line at. And then I may trim off a little bit more so that I won't have to trim off so much of her later. I think that's fine. Okay. There we go. Let's make this edge straight. All right, so this top left corner should be fairly squared. Just get rid of the scraps. And I should be able to use that to line everything up. Okay, so like so, right? Then that little bit on that edge will be cut off, and then this little bit on the bottom will be cut off. Okay, or was it supposed to be more at the top? There's a number of ways you can attach this. I think we talked about it before. So you could use a liquid adhesive. You may end up with some warping. You could use Mod Podge. Again, you may end up with some warping. You could use Fabri-Tac glue stick. If you have a glue stick that you can trust, you could use glue stick. Whatever adhesive works best for you. In this instance, because of the way this is, I'm going to use double-sided tape for this one. You could also use a matte medium. It doesn't warp. It's fairly expensive though. But yeah, a tacky glue, whatever your adhesive of choice would be. I'm going to use some of this double-sided tape that I have from the old Miss Sparkle & Co. section at Joann from back in the day. This is 1-inch double-sided tape. And I've been using this for a while and it works really well. So first, I am going to put my tape down up against the black edge where the book binding tape is. That's what this black tape is. And I use my ruler as a guide for tearing. Then I'm going to, I think, go on this edge here and try and get as close to the edge as possible. That is really part of the key to getting a cover that's going to hold up over time. And last is trying to make sure you get all the way to the edge. Just tear this little piece off. And we have rounded corners. We'll get to those in a moment. Now you have the option of just doing strips vertically. I feel like I can get a better edge adhesive if I kind of box it in and then fill in the center of the box. So that's what I'm going to do here, is box it in. Then do the same at the bottom. Also, when you're covering, you want to make sure you use something that is thick enough to hide the design underneath. So I'm sure the gift bag is, but if you're using maybe an old calendar, which we'll do one day, or just a thinner scrapbook paper with a light design, you would want to make sure that you can't see the pattern on the inside through it. One way to get around that is you could go over your cover with a light coat of gesso. You could do a preliminary cover, which I don't know how effective that would be, but a preliminary cover of white paper or something light, or just make sure you use something that is thick enough that the pattern of the composition notebook doesn't show through. So I'm going to fill in the section that's not quite 1 inch with a smaller tape. So let's see what I have here. I think this one should fit. Yeah. I'm just using the ruler to burnish this down. You can use your bone folder. Just feel like with the rounded side of the ruler, I can cover more ground faster. So that's why I do that. All right. So we still got these corners to deal with. For now, I'm going to leave it until I cover the cover. All right. So we got our piece here. Remember, this is the side that's squared. So I think I'm going to start with lining up this side. If you know, with double-sided tape, once you put something down, it is stuck. You're not getting that back up very easily or without destroying it. So what I'm going to do is put a little wet glue to give me a little wiggle room so that I can get this lined up well before it sticks permanently. Okay, so I'm not going to try and get the top lined up exactly. Let's focus on getting this lined up against the edge of the black tape. Let's do that. Oh, I got glue on my tape. But it's art glitter glue, so it should be okay. Okay. Burnish that down. Let's make sure I got it lined up well. I think it's pretty good. Now I do have a little lump or wrinkle in this where it was folded, so I kind of want to be careful with that. But let's go ahead and peel off the remainder of the backing. Oh, I don't know where my other pokey tool is, so I'm going to use this one. I must have dropped it on the floor. Let's just do a little at a time. Let's not rush this. So I can just fold these back out of the way. And slowly smooth this down so that I get that wrinkle out. I think it's pretty good, yes. And also doing it this way, you don't have any air bubbles. if it's done correctly. You shouldn't have any air bubbles. I may have a little wrinkle right there. And smooth that down. Okay, so that part of the cover is done. Let me get my real bone folder and make sure it's adhered and burnished down well. Okay, this is something that I don't ordinarily do, and that would be trim around it whatever I've done after the fact. You can do this with scissors. I don't think I would have much success with scissors, so I am going to use the metal ruler and a blade. So I need to get my cutting mat out. Okay, and I'm going to line this up against the edge here. I hope this blade is sharp for this. So I'm going to line it up, use my blade and my ruler, and use the book cover as a guide, and not think too hard and just cut. You don't have to press down really hard. You can do it in several cuts. You just want to make sure you hold the ruler firmly in place. You got a nice clean edge. All right, so the key to this is making sure that you line the ruler up with the edge of the notebook. So you can use, like, press your blade down and slide the ruler up against. So butt the blade up against the edge of the composition book cover, and then make sure that your ruler is flush against the blade, and then trim. They also sell craft knives in the Dollar Tree if you don't have an X-Acto blade. I think they used to have a 2-pack, and it was usually in the automotive supplies or the hardware supplies. You can also use a box cutter, whatever type of blade you have on hand. All right, so this part is going to be tricky for me because I don't have a lot of space to work with, and it's on an odd angle because the bulk of the book is here in front of me. But let's do this. So I'm going to press my blade up against the edge of the book here, then put the ruler up against the blade. I do the same thing here. Make sure it's not too far over. Make sure, let's do that again. Make sure the blade is up against the book, blade against the book. All right, then let's trim. And if you are using a metal ruler, it's best to get one with a cork backing. It's less likely to slide. So this one is pretty old, but it has a cork backing. Oh, it's really old. I've had this for so many years. Anywho, probably since 1994, something like that. But if you can't find it with the cork backing, putting some masking tape on the back of it will also help fight the sliding. Okay, so we got nice clean edges. If you're an inker, you could ink your edges. Now we can just easily take the scissors and, well, you can take the scissors, I can take the scissors. So we can take the scissors and trim off those corners. And they're not exactly round. So, and also using the width of the cover kind of keeps you in line. Just try not to cut the cover. And then that cleans that up. So I may ink the edges a little because I like inked edges. But that is the cover using a gift bag. Let's go ahead and do the back. Not sure I'm going to do that on the inside covers. We'll see. And I know I'm not going to be able to get the exact pieces for the back. And I'm not even sure that I want to. Probably should just use a different bag even. I wish this was big enough. Is it? But then this part here looks strange. But I do like that. I don't know that I want the same thing on the back. Could I do something with this? The only reason that I didn't use this initially is because it's not going to get the whole car. I don't want the Mary Mary on there. So it would be like this much of the car. And then these holes at the top would show. But let's fool around with it and see what we can do. Let's open this one up. I do have another one of these in case I destroy this one. So I'm not worried. I try to part the seams as neatly as possible, but it's not always possible to do a perfect job. But there it is, opened up. I'm not going to use the silver side, even though it's really, really pretty. See the foil on that? I'm going to use this side. So let's trim away what we need. And I could do a whole lot better cutting job, but I'm a little tired of struggling with that. Let's take this out. All right. This opens up. See, I'm going to have these two holes. Well, I'm going to have one hole. So I can deal with that. I can deal with that. All right. I'm going to trim the blue part off of the bottom. Hopefully I can fit this in my trimmer. So let's line that little blue bit up. Okay. Let's straighten this edge up. And let's do some fitting. Let's make sure of what we're doing. I think we're good. At least I get the December 25 on there, and I'll have to come up with something for this hole. I'll figure something out. I really want to use that. If you know me, if you've been watching me, you know I love the little red Christmas cars and trucks. And they don't even have to be red. I just really think they are cute. And yeah, so it's one of my favorite Christmas things. Those vintage cars and trucks. So I'm going to do the same process on the back as I did on the front. It's just kind of like laying down washi tape in your planner. If you think of it like that, and you try to get it all the way to the edge, or you want it to touch the line like that. It's kind of basically the same thing. Okay, let's burnish this tape. Got a little bit of a gap there because I went over a little with this piece. Hopefully that won't matter much. And I might put a little glue in there. We really want good coverage on the covers. I really like how that turned out. Okay. Let's take this off. Burnish this down a little bit more because it felt like it was lifting. Let's try again. And let's put a little glue. You could even use the glue stick to do that as well. It's probably a cheaper alternative than using one of these craft glues. But I would stick with something that doesn't warp. I didn't close my glue, so it's a little clogged now. Oop. All right. Here's my cover. Let's place it. I'm gonna leave it, let it overhang just a hair at the bottom. Is this the right one? Yeah. Now we got a fold right here. See if I can burnish that out. It's probably going to show, but I'm okay with that. Everything's falling over. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get rid of that completely, but I think it's okay. Since most of the line falls in the grill of the truck, it seems okay. All right, let's work on this. We got glue coming out. Okay, let's do some more. Before I glue down more, I just had an idea. Can we cover this whole area? Where's my hole puncher? Let's punch a piece of this. Probably want this lighter green color. Okay. This is so silly. All right. Probably should have did that before I did the rest. Let's just put a little glue around that hole. Where's my tweezers? And place it on there like so. Let's see what that looks like. It works. Okay. It's going to be a little circle there, but at least the hole is closed. Let's keep going with the cover. All right. I don't want to lose that. Give it a chance to dry a little. Just peel these back. Let's focus on this a little bit, burnish that down. I mean, you can still see it, but it's blending in. You got to be looking for it to see it. All right, so let's burnish this down and get ready to trim. Maybe I should have went ahead and risked it and did it on the cover because I love that. I think that's really cute. Okay, let's go ahead and trim it down. Let's do this side first. Get my ruler. Let's put this away. Clean that up. All right. Let's do that. Light, firm, but light strokes. And I'm pretty sure I need a new blade because it shouldn't take this many strokes. Okay. Let's not look at it yet. I want to see. I'm excited. Oh. And then the awkward side. Let's go ahead and round those corners. This one seems like it's not quite cut close enough. Let's see. I'm not gonna mess with it. Then this one. Ooh, that's cute. So this is going to be my 2023 December daily and Christmas planner. Wow. I want to do the inside covers. I'm going to use some of my stash. And I think I'm mainly going to use this collection. This is from Recollections from Michaels. Let's see if I can find the year on here. It's from 2016. So I've had this for a while. This is kind of what the papers look like. It's a little non-traditional, but mostly it has like a semi-vintage vibe. So it's kind of like a mixture of everything. Traditional, non-traditional, and vintage. And I think I can even use these numbers. I think I have them somewhere else, actually. I can use these for the December daily part of it. And I like the numbers because they are not intrusive. Okay, so these are the two papers that I pulled. I got a darker one and a lighter one. And I thought they went well with the covers, except for maybe not so much the back cover, but that's the back cover. It looks good with the front cover. So the decision is, which one do I want to put where? I think I want to put the dark in the front. Like this. And then the light in the back. Okay, so let's start with the front. Now, I wanted to try something different. Previously, it didn't really matter how close I got to the spine with this, with the paper, because it was white. It was, the base of the paper was white. But I do need to leave space away from the spine so that the notebook will still close. So even, I don't know why it's kind of floating. The lid, the cover is kind of floating still. For some reason, it may be because I've been working in it the way that I've been working in it. But I don't want my paper to interfere with the closure or the spine. Now I have an idea. I'm going to try this for the first time. It also bothers me that this part would still be white in this area. So I would have this here. This is probably as close as I will get to the spine. And I just don't like that white area there. So I pulled out some of my Christmas washi tapes and thought that I might use some of these. Now these red foil washi tapes came from the Target Dollar Spot several years ago. And I do like these a lot. I'll probably use them throughout this December daily / planner. However, I'm not sure I want to use them in this case. Oh, and then this one as well. It's part of that. I don't think I like any of those with this. Maybe the Believe. I might use the Believe. I think this one is too narrow, even though I like the plaid on plaid. And then this is another plaid, but it's so close to the same thing that I don't know. Decisions. Let's try the Believe. I try to avoid these. It's probably why these have lasted so long, is because they have that backing on them that I just really don't like. It makes it more problematic to work with the washi when it has a backing on it like these. You got to come up with something to hold it closed, basically. But let's see. Well, I guess I could just do this. I think this is the way to go. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Let's trim that off. Let me get my fussy cutting scissors so I can get real close. Let's put this on. Not sure which is the top, which is the bottom. Guess it doesn't matter. But we need to butt it up against this washi. I still need to kind of mark where the edge is. Since the white paper just kind of blends in. I think that's going to look nice. All right. We are going to use the Fabri-Tac. Yes, we are doing Fabri-Tac. I'm not going to do the double-sided tape for the inside cover. We just need to make sure we pay extra close attention to the edges, and hopefully it won't seep, and thoroughly cover the inside. Let's get this placed like so. And that washi tape really does give you something to butt the paper up against and get it lined up. Does it still close good? Yes, I think it does. Nice. All right, so we're going to do the same thing we did before, just on the other side, and trim off the excess paper. So let's turn this around like this. Get the blade, make sure we're on the mat, and trim. Oh, not all the way on the mat on that end, but it's okay. I can just cut it off. All right, let's snip that. Let's do this side. I need a shorter ruler. Smash it down. Press it down real well. Okay, so that closes nicely. Then we can decorate this, add pockets, can actually add an envelope to store receipts, shopping receipts or whatever, or you could put that in the back, depending on what you want. But let's go ahead and cover this back cover. That is so dark. I'm gonna have to use something really light to brighten this up. And I think I want to use this in here somehow as well. This was the tag on the snowman or snow people bag. I'm going to use that somewhere in here. Okay. So we'll be decorating that up. Let's go ahead and do the back cover. I'm going to use the lighter paper, but I got to decide which washi tape I want to use for this one. Do I want to use this washi? I think this one would look nice actually. Let's do this one and see what we come up with. I'm going to turn it the other way. Oh, but that black line is going to show through. I think I'll just make the paper cover that area. So let's put the washi down. Still closing okay. Still closing okay. Pretty much, yes. Let's glue the other piece down with the fabric tack. And like I mentioned, I want to come over just a hair over the tape. Get the edges real close. Gonna line that up right on the edge of that design and smooth it out. This is a cool way to use up to 12 by 12 papers. So if you don't have the bags, you can easily just use all 12 by 12s. Let's trim. All right, see how that I missed a little bit right there. I don't think my blade is going to be able to clean that up. Might have to clean it up with the scissors. Let's see. Yeah, it might work. It worked. Okay. All right. Let's get the other ends and we'll be finished with the cover. Those seem trimmed pretty good. Let's see if I can clean this up. And if you can't clean it up with your blade or the scissors, as a last resort, you can sand it off. But what might happen is you might remove some of the color from your paper. But in that case, you can always ink it, add some of those chalk markers that I used on the writing board. You could do that as well. Okay, I think that's as clean as I'm going to get those edges. That's a little beat up right there. Let's see if I can smooth it out a little bit. I'm not going to worry about it. Let's go ahead and trim these corners. Oh, these are some good little scissors. I don't use them much because I prefer the fussy cut with my Tim Holtz scissors. But when you need to get in and get some intricate places, or you need to cut awkward places, these work really well. What are they called? Cutter bee. Found these on Amazon. I'm sure you can get them in your local craft store, but I'll link to them in the description box below. So that is our inside cover. We're going to decorate this up a little bit more. So I am barely making it in before the end of July with this. So, you know, Christmas in July. I wanted to do something for Christmas in July. So this is what I'm doing. If you are a member of the channel, that means if you are a Craft Lab Tech, there will be a new digital available on the 1st, which is tomorrow. It will be these monthly blank calendars. I only printed the Sunday version where it's a Sunday start, but there will be a Monday start, and you can print these front and back. They're set up to print duplex front and back. That's why I have 4 here. So if I'd have printed this front and back, then I would have had 2 pages. Anywho, for this particular project, I don't need front and back. These are half letter. So all you have to do is cut them in half. And they are, I'm not going to use the horizontal calendar. You can put the horizontal calendar on the page like this. This is the calendar that I'm using in my craft journal. You can also put them on the page like this or like this. I would probably put it over to the side or down to the bottom. That gives me room up top to decorate. It also gives me room to have maybe a sidebar box or to decorate, however you want to do it. You can use washi tape and just go around and put it down like that. If you want to put a decorative piece behind it, let me cut one down so you can get a better idea of how these work. But yeah, if you want to put a decorative piece behind it, you could do that. You can have like a vellum overlay. There's so many different things you can do with it. And you don't just have to use it for Christmas. It's a blank monthly. So you can customize it. You can reduce the size if you want. I wouldn't suggest increasing the size, but you could. Your printout might be a little more blurry if you increase it, but decreasing it, you won't lose any print quality. So yeah, I could just stick this right here in the middle of the page. Now I'm going to do a title page here, so I won't put this here, but I just want to let you all know about this so that you can be ready if you are making your December daily or your Christmas planner like this. So this is one of the pieces that we're going to work with in the next video. And since I know everybody does not have this right now, I'm not going to go any further with it. I'm going to wait until everybody has it. We're going to do the months of October through December. So we're going to set that up where you can track whatever you need to track for Christmas. Gift buying, sending cards, menus, travel, whatever you need. Everything, you can put everything in one. And I like that because you can journal and do your December daily all in one book. So you don't have to have several different things. And yeah, so we will work on that, all of that in the next video. So get your Christmas goodies out and get ready. We're going to finish setting this up together. I'm going to go ahead and do the inside pockets. So I was looking through this paper pad and it has 2 sets of cut aparts. And I think I want to use something from this set, which would probably be this guy right here. I think I want to use him for the front. Now, if you remember, well, if you saw the other composition book alteration, I created the pocket with gussets, and I want to do the same thing here. But because the size of this is limited, I'm not going to be able to score this and get my gussets that way. So what I'm going to do is either mount this on something else. So I could mount it on this and leave a bit of a border and make gussets that way. That's going to add bulk. But for this project, I'm not worrying about bulk. I just want it to be fun. I want to have fun making it. So let me go ahead and cut this apart so I can place it the way that I want to place it and see what I can get. I could probably use the polka dot paper that I used in the back as well. Not sure how that would look with our little snowman here. I thought the snowman would be good though, because I think I'm gonna need that again, because he has the same color on. We got snowmen, snow people on the front, and it just kind of went. Now that doesn't look that great on that. It really doesn't. But could I possibly use these to make hinges for this? The only problem with that is that the edge is going to look rough. So I'm not sure I like that either. Let's see what scraps we have left over from the bags. Could I get away with this? So I'm pretty sure this is 4x6. So this is 4x6. I need an inch on either side, so that would make it 5x7. So let's try 5.5 by 7.5. Can I get that out of this? Let's see. And there is going to be that line in the middle, but I'm just going to have to overlook it. I think I only need 7 because we already have a flap on that side. I hope I'm doing this right. I'm just going to cut that off. And then 5.5 this way. So this side would be the top. So I just need to score a half here and a half here. Okay, so I'm coming up with the measurement. I think I explained it pretty well, but this is 4x6. So automatically I need to add a ½ inch all the way around because I like to have something to fold over on my pocket edge, my top edge. So I add a ½ inch to that as well. So that's going to give me 5x7. But I also want a little red border around this. So when I place this on here, I want a little bit of border. So I added another ½ inch. So it went from 5x7 to 5.5 by 7.5. Because this already has this fold here, which I'm probably going to move. I'm going to use this existing fold, I think, and I'm already going to use this fold. So that was why I, instead of cutting it at 7.5, I cut it at 7 because I already have my ½ inch flap here. Hopefully that makes sense. So I'm using, I still need this. I'm using the existing fold. So that is already at ½ inch. So I'm going to come over a hair more. Nope, I'm going to need to come over more than that. And I don't like the way that's sounding. So let's see. I'm going to have to come over here because I don't want this little white bit showing. So let's fold that out of the way. Let's trim some of this flap off because we only need about a ½ inch. So let's just trim that off like that. So this is this. I'm going to go ahead and do ½ inch on this side. And because I had to add more to the top, I'm probably going to do less of a fold at the bottom. So let's decrease it by 1/8 of an inch. So we're going to do 3/8 instead of 1/2 inch. Ooh, that was a bad score. Okay. Let's go ahead and miter so we don't have chunky corners. Just take a bit out of there. All right. Let's hope all this works out. Now this is very thin at the bottom. Maybe I should flip it and use this as the top. I think I will. let this be the top and let that one be the bottom. And then I'm not liking the way that red looks against the other red. Phooey. So this is what I want. And it could end up being a double pocket. Let me go ahead and glue this edge. The reason I'm using this is where the seam was, so it got torn a little bit. So let's go ahead and fold this over. It also will reinforce the opening of the pocket. Let's reinforce these folds because they act like they don't want to stay in place. And I'm trying to decide here, do I want to make this a pocket too? Because I could like leave it open on one end. Let's do that just for fun. Do I want to round the corners? Let's just, yeah, go all out here. So this is my 1.5 inch circle punch. I'm going to find the center. I know it's 4, so I'm going to go 2 and 2. My punch has an arrow here that kind of marks the center, and I drew some lines on here to know how deep to go. So I just kind of line all of that up and punch. So he can go right there. So I can tuck a tag or whatever in there just for fun. Here's my corner chomper. I'm going to do the 1/4 inch corners. I could ink him up, but I'm going to try and do this without getting involved with the ink. But I would love to ink him with the red ink. That would be nice. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put him down. So I'm only gluing on 3 sides. And I'll try to get this centered pretty well. So we got like a little tuck pocket right here. Just in case, even if we don't use it, it's there. All right, so the suggestion that I got before was to actually glue, or rather to tape. Why is this looking like this? To tape down that bottom flap so that it doesn't get caught. I'm gonna use, I really don't want to use this tape. I think they said clear tape, but I'm gonna use my artist tape because it's really strong and I don't have to worry about it lifting. So I'm just going to place this on here. Let's do it like this. I'm going to put some glue here. Make sure I get it on this edge because this edge acts like it does not want to stay folded properly. So let's just get it there. All right, I'm gonna pull this up. Whoop. And let's line it up. And place it down. All right, so the tape is down and that glue is down. So now when I stick something in the pocket, hopefully it won't get hung on that. Hopefully that works. Oops, let's give this time to adhere. And then I'm gonna go ahead and glue the side flaps. Hopefully I'm in frame a little bit. I'm feeling like maybe I should have used the fabric tack on that because it acts like it's not wanting to stick. Just burnish, burnish, burnish. That's a little off. So I think we're good on this pocket. I don't know if that was a good idea to use the bag, but I do kind of want to use the scraps from that. So there is our pocket. It's pretty good on the inside there. And I don't have anything small. Here's a tag. A little tag can go in here. All right, I think we're good. So for the back, I kind of want to do an envelope, but I want it to be accessible. I want you to be able to get into it. So it's going to be a little bulky. Let's see. I have an idea. If I make it like 5 by 7. Yeah. Let's do 5 by 7. So I'm going to take my envelope board. If you have another way to make envelopes, I know the scoreboards have an envelope maker on the back of them. You can actually just do some folding to make one. I think I did a video on that a while ago, but I have my envelope punch board, so let's try that. And I want to make an envelope to hold something 5 by 7. So I find the size that I want to make, and I need paper 9.5 by 9.5, and I'm going to score at 4. So what paper do we want to use? And we're going to have to trim that paper down. To set the book aside. Still want to use paper from here. Don't want to go red, too much red. Let's try to find something greenish. This could work. I like that too. I'm not sure I like that green on that color scheme. I didn't want to do red, but let's do red. The one with the candy canes. I like this one too. Let's do this one. I think I only have one sheet of this. Let's do this one, because it's still in keeping with the snowmen, with the snowflakes on it. I know that's a reach. I'm reaching, but I'm here for the reach. So let's try this. What did I say? 9.5 by 9.5? Yes. All right. And this paper has a texture too, so I think that helps make it a little more sturdy. It's embossed or whatever, so that can't hurt. 9.5. All right, so then I'll score at 4. Let's get this out, line it up with the 4. And score, punch. Let's line this up. So I line this little piece that sticks out here, this little prong, with the score that I just made, and I score, punch, turn, do the same thing again when you get to the second one from the original. So I did one, now this is the second from the original. It should kind of line up with that 4 again. So it's kind of a way I try to keep my envelopes from being too wonky, because they can get a little off with this punch board. Now, because this one is a bigger one, I'm not going to be able to see where that line should line up at, but I can see that the edge of this notch right here lines up with that score line. So I'm going to score and punch. Those are just a few little things I've learned about not having wonky envelopes. Now, I think these flaps might be a little long. Not sure. But I want my envelope to go like this. So I'm going to go ahead and round everything just in case. I might end up cutting something off. But we'll see. Okay. So I am done with the punch board. All right. You can fold this up. Fold this like this. Carefully, because, all right. So if I do this, do I want to cut those off? So here's what I'm thinking. We're getting in the territory of bulk here, but I'm thinking I would put this on this page. Okay, I could either leave the side open or the top open, and then I would put a string closure here to close these two. I can't put it this way, that won't be right. So what do I want to do with these two pieces here? Do I want to just let them overlap like that? Do I want to do something here? No, these have to overlap. I just wish they were a little longer because they would hide all that. Do I just cut that there? I think I do. I'm just going to cut it. So, in the interest of cutting it straight, I'm going to mark it right where I want it to be cut. And cut it. So if I can line those two marks up. All right. It's done now. Yikes. Maybe I should cut both of them. I think that looks neater than that. If I need to come back and cut the other one, I can. All right. So I'm going to put a closure on this. I think I'm going to use eyelets instead of brads. So let's find a contrasting color to make our eyelets with. We got this scrap here. Do you want to do that? Let's take my 1-inch punch. Let's glue these together. I guess I shouldn't be working over the book. So let's not do that. Because things happen. So let's do it like this. So we got two closure pieces. Kind of want to burnish this down, but I don't want to crack the paper. So these will go like this. And then I'll have some twine to go around them. I want to punch this right here. Do I want to use gold or red or green? Eyelets. I'm using the green. I bought these eyelets, I don't know how long ago, and I never use them because they don't go with anything. So they're not exactly a Christmas green, but we're going to say they are and use them. I don't want to put this too close to the edge. You get the eyelet setter. Punch the hole, put the eyelet in. And let's set the eyelet. There it is. Let's put our string on real quick. Still not very Christmassy, but that's as close as I have other than this red. Let's see. I think this is a little too bright, but it could work. I just think it's gonna look okay against the red. I think the red mutes it just a little bit. Let's see if I can get this wrapped around here. Let's wrap that around. Let's tie it so it doesn't sneak a loose later on. And I guess I could do it junk journal style and let it peek out. Tie it again on this side. Okay. Then let's come up here. Hook it around, hook it around. I think that's enough, right? 2 times. Do we need to go 3? Let's do 3. Okay. And then let's trim it. All right. So that is the base of our pocket. I can always come back, line the inside, and I may do that, but that is the base. Let's go ahead and put it into our planner journal December daily. And I'm going to use the Fabri-Tac because of the treatment on this paper. I just want to make sure that it stays in place. And I'm calling this the top. So my hand goes where I don't want the glue. I think the paper cracked right there in the corner. Ooh, I just had another idea for this. I'll do it in the next project. I'm going to be doing a Halloween notebook soon, so maybe I'll do that. I have to go write it down so I don't forget. But I'll be writing that in my craft journal. All right. Okay. Let's let that set up before we go to pressing things down. I'm kind of lining it up with the dots, but the dots aren't exactly straight because the paper isn't exactly straight. But that is what it looks like. I think the green is cool. It isn't a Christmas green, but it works. Let me know what you think. All right, so we talked about the monthlies. So this video is going to be live on the 31st of July. Christmas in July ends on the 31st. And then these inserts, the printables, will be available to Scrapcraftastic channel members, the Craft Lab Tech level, which is the only level I have at the moment. So you will be able to get those and be ready to work with them in the next Ultra composition video. So we will continue to work on this. All right, so that is it. I don't really want to close this up too much because it's still a little wet. This is what we did. We did the front cover and the back cover using a gift bag. Both gift bags were from the Dollar Tree, and this one was after season, so I got it for a few cents, maybe 50 cents or something like that. And that was before the $1.25 hike. We did the inside covers. I used paper pads that I got from Michael's for that. I used washi tape from my stash, and I think this washi tape is, well, I think both of these washi tapes came from the Target dollar spot. I used a little piece of the gift bag to back this journaling card from the paper pad. I made this a pocket. The card isn't actually a pocket. And then there is a deep pocket here that is gusseted. So lots of room in there. And we just made this envelope pocket using the envelope punch board. I used a lot of We Are Memory Keepers supplies and tools. I will link to everything that I can in the description box below. And if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments below. But that is the project for now. Again, we'll be back to do the December daily setup and the planner setup for October, November, and December. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment and let me know what you think. Also, you may be interested in this other video. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.